Alright, so this is going to be a very candid video, and I just got to talk about Infinity War just one more time. I really don't want to have to talk about it again, but I feel like I should just make my stance very clear and, make my whole position on this matter very clear so that there's no confusion, alright? I have a huge bias. I'm not somebody that's pretending to be neutral, okay? Just to please people. I am extreme on the DC side. I am extremely biased on purpose, like for a reason. Because if there's no one like me that is taking an extreme stance, then we're not going to be able to tell who is really going too far or not, Who's really biased or unbiased. If you have nobody taking the extreme side, then you'll never know who's really neutral and who's really unbiased, right? I personally think I'm doing a good service, alright? I'm like helping out channels like Film Junkie and showing that, Chris Wan, Film Junkie, Film God, those guys are really neutral on the matter, If they see a movie and like it, they like it. They may lean towards DC, but they're not fanboying, But they're not taking a hard stance on it either way because they genuinely are neutral on the matter, And if there's nobody like me that's like taking the extreme on the DC side, then you're never going to be able to tell when they're being honest, right? And I saw a comment on another channel called Totally Random, and somebody was calling him a fanboy because, like, he said one sentence about maybe critics have a bias against DC films. So they started calling him a DC fanboy, right? This guy whose channel, he talks about DC films, he talks about soccer and football, it's not the only thing he talks about is DC, and someone's just calling him a fanboy, and then my response was, well, if he's a fanboy, what the fuck does that make me, because I am an extreme fanboy, like, I'm unabashedly a Zack Snyder fan, I'm unabashedly a DC fan, and I have no problem admitting that. I have no problem accepting that because I like that about myself. I'm not bullshitting. I really don't care about Marvel. I'm probably not going to see Infinity War for like another year. Okay? Like, I might see it one day when it's on TV or if it's on Netflix. I'll probably check it out. But it's not a first priority for me. So in a way, I like to think that me showing like what a real extremist fanboy is, maybe that will stop people from automatically disregarding like Film Junkie and Chris Wan because they're DC fans and they lean towards DC, but they're not just in it for DC like I am, which is a great thing. We need people to favor DC but also be unbiased about this shit, and I can't do that because I clearly have a bias. So when people start calling them fanboys, just fucking direct them to my goddamn page and they can see what a fanboy really fucking is. It's like no matter what, people like Chris Wan or Film Junkie, no matter what they say, people are always going to call them fanboys when they're really not. They just lean towards a certain way. And when it comes to movies and stuff, when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to shit like this, it's okay to be an extremist. It's okay to take a side completely. It's fine. Because this is shit that really doesn't matter in the end of the day. So who cares if you are just an extremist that just watches DC films or just watches Marvel films? It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anyone's life. It doesn't affect anything that's happening in the world. When being an extremist is a problem? When you're talking about politics. That's when being an extremist is a huge fucking problem. Alright, when we're talking about real world things and religion and politics, being an extremist, then that's a huge fucking problem. But like when it comes to movies and shit, who the fuck cares? Who cares if you just watch DC films and you don't like the other brand, you hate the other brand? Whose life is that affecting, It's not affecting anyone's life. It's actually helping my life a little bit because I'm talking about this stuff and getting stuff out of my mind because I've always felt this way. And I recently just saw a few videos of people crying about Avengers Infinity War, saying it's the most emotional movie they've ever seen in their life. And that shit got me burst out laughing. Like, that is the most emotional thing you ever seen in your life in a movie. I could probably name like 20 other movies, like 100 other movies that got me crying hard. that there's no way Avengers Infinity War could ever do. Like the movie 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That movie always gets me crying. Like, bad. Avengers Infinity War is never going to beat that. You know what I'm saying? Not for me. It's going to be a completely different case. It's going to be a completely different thing. Schindler's List. That movie gets me fucking crying. You tell me Infinity War is going to be more emotional than that? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that's ever going to happen for me. And I can admit that because I know myself, right? And there is a part of me, and I know there's a part of me that actually loathes people that are crying about Avengers Infinity War because they're the same people that weren't crying when Superman died in BVS. You know, when Superman died in BVS, I heard a lot of people mocking it, you know? And that's super fucked up, you know, just because we didn't have fucking 20 movies about Superman before he dies, you know, now it's not emotional. Superman's been a fucking character in movies since the 70s, since the fucking 60s. And we finally see him die in a movie. It should have been emotional for everybody. Why was it just emotional for me? Is it because I'm a huge DC fan? Probably. You know, probably. Like a 90% chance that that's the case. But of course I'm not going to laugh in someone's face because they liked Avengers Infinity War and they were crying during it, you know? But to me, it's a ridiculous concept, you know? To be crying during Avengers Infinity War and saying it's the most emotional film ever, it's laughable to me because I've seen a shit ton of films. And there's been a lot that have made me cry. And that's a hard thing to do for a film. Cloud Atlas made me cry. You tell me Avengers Infinity War is going to have the same effect? I don't think so. But I'm not going to be mean to people because of it, you know? And you might have seen a pattern in the way I interact with people. If people are just mean or they're trying to get a rise out of other people, I'll go after them with that same exact mentality that they have, but from the other angle, right? I remember I used to write a bunch of comments back at people in a bunch of other videos that were just like trolling DC, and I would just replace the word DC with Marvel and write the same exact comment back to them. You know, that's all I would do like all day, just to like get a rise out of them. Because you reap what you sow. You know, if you're going to be an asshole and a dick, that's all you're going to get in return. At least that's how I see it. I mean, it's super, super, super fucking rare that I would ever be mean or attack somebody unprovoked, you know? Super fucking rare. If I ever do, I'm fucking drunk as shit or something. You know, like, there's no way I would ever do that. Sober, at least. And not even drunk. Because my friend actually told me once when I was like blackout drunk. I don't even remember anything that happened this one night. And he drove us to a McDonald's and he got his food and stuff. And he told me that I was just thanking him the whole time for driving. And I was just being super nice the whole time. And I was just telling him what a good person he was the whole time. Like for like hours. But I don't remember like a single word of it. But he told me it all happened. So, you know, I'm the type of drunk that gets nicer when I'm drunk. You know, I'm probably like the nicest asshole you'll ever meet in your life. And I always prefer telling the truth. Sure, it might not be somebody else's truth, but it's my truth, right? I'm a huge DC fan. For me, the DC's movies that I've seen, by Zack Snyder specifically, are doing it for me, you know? These are the movies I've always wanted to see. And I think they're the greatest DC films ever made. You know, Man of Steel, BVS, they're the greatest DC films ever made. That's my truth. And, you know, I don't really know what I was talking about in this. I really don't. I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. But I just felt like I had to just talk a little bit and be candid. Because I really don't hate people that like Infinity War. Am I a little annoyed that, you know, some of these people that are loving Infinity War had nothing but criticism for BVS? Yeah, a little bit annoyed by that. But anybody on this channel listening to this that liked Infinity War, that's fine, you know? That's good. You found something you like. I hope you watch the film again and again and again and again. You know, see if it holds up. You know, but I'm never going to bullshit you guys. I'm a huge DC fan. I have a huge bias. I do not like the Marvel films. I'm not rushing out to see a Marvel film anymore. It's never going to happen for me. At least not until the next Punisher movie comes out, or when Venom comes out. Characters that I think are actually pretty fucking cool, and I want to see. And maybe Deadpool. I think Deadpool's hysterical. You know, he's always self-aware and always breaking the fourth wall. That's always funny. It gets a little old, but, it could be fucking hysterical. But, I have a huge bias, so I love when people call me a fanboy because I am. It's alright to be a fanboy about this shit. I can't stress that enough. It is alright to be a fan of a fucking brand, DC or Marvel. It's fine. Okay? These are companies that are putting out entertainment. Alright? They're not digging oil from the ground. Okay? They're not starting wars in the real world like our own fucking government, right? It's alright to be extremists when it comes to Marvel and DC. It's alright. It's not alright for the real world of politics and, religion and stuff like that. That's what's super not alright. But it's alright to be a fanboy of DC or Marvel because it's really not hurting anybody at the end of the day. Who fucking cares, right? If you really like one brand over the other, stick with that. Who cares? But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of just going in circles. I just thought I'd talk about that because it was on my mind. I don't know what really got this on my mind. I don't know if it was that comment on Totally Random's channel where, people were just calling him a fanboy for even suggesting a possibility that critics might be biased against DC. If he's a fanboy, then, what the fuck does that make me? And then I was seeing a bunch of Infinity War emotional reactions from people that saw the movie, and I was just rolling my eyes, and it just got me thinking about all this. So, that's it for now. Comment below, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right? Bye.